What if I told you there's one single thing that will decide whether you'll have more money or not by the end of the year? Studies show that you will perform 90% better and that you will be 43% more likely to actually have more money. I used it and it helped me grow my net worth by 4 times in just 4 years. So in this video I will reveal you what it is and how you can use it to have much more money by the end of the year. And now imagine you're a sailor and your boat is ready to set sail. You're ready to start your adventure to become a great explorer. So you hop on the boat and get further and further from the port. You're excited. You're trying to make your dream come true. And since you're going for an adventure, you don't have a specific destination. So you go along with the wind. But time passes and not only you haven't discovered anything, but you don't find land. You are lost in the middle of the ocean, so you don't know how to go forward and you don't know how to go back home. Well, the same is for money. Imagine working hard for years to save more money for your house or to send your kids to college. But then you realize that you're actually far away from your objective and you're still struggling with your money. The reality is that many people dream about getting rich, but as a poor sailor, not having a clear direction will leave them wandering in the middle of the ocean without ever reaching their goal. So if you really want to reach your goal of having more money or becoming rich, you have to set specific goals. Imagine that studies show that by setting specific and challenging goals leads to 90% higher performance, as well as it gives a 43% advantage in achieving them. This is why if you want to have more money this year, you have to start by setting clear goals for your finances, or you will just get lost in the process and have to start over next year. But well, how do you do that? How do you set financial goals so that will actually help you to have more money already this year? In my experience, you just have to follow 4 simple steps. And the first one is the most overlooked one. Even I used to make the error of not taking it into account, and it almost ruined my life. So let's go back to our sailor. His dream is to become a great explorer. But why does he want it? Is he interested in exploring the seas? Is he interested to discover new tropical islands or new animal species? Without knowing how to answer that, the destination of our sailor could be anywhere in the world, and this means he could never reach it. I was in the same situation as the sailor, knowing I wanted to make a lot of money, but without really thinking why I wanted this money. And this brought me to build a life that didn't make me happy. So think about it. Why do you want to have more money? Is it to give your family the life they deserve? Is it to finally escape the stress of living paycheck to paycheck? Or is it to buy your dream house? I asked myself this question and I realized that I want to have more money because I want to be free to learn new things whenever I want and to be able to work on what I love from wherever I am in the world. And realizing that made me change the direction my life had, and now I am much happier and richer. So answering this question is super important, and even more important it is to answer while taking into account what you want for your life. If you want to live in the countryside, you can't think of building your career in a company based in Manhattan, for example. So understand what you want to do with your life over the next 5 to 10 years and then connect it to why you want to have more money. Doing that will make it crystal clear what you really want to do with your life, and this will assure you that everything you will do will actually help you to reach your goals. But sure, this won't really help in itself to have more money. It is not a clear goal, nor it is something doable in 1 year. This is why now you have to define SMART goals for your finances. So firstly, what is a SMART goal? SMART is a simple framework to define specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. Basically, it helps to create good and useful goals. For example, saying that your goal is to get in better shape doesn't mean much. How many times we've all said so? And how many times did we actually reach this goal? Personally, I never did, because this goal is not concrete, it is not guiding me to reach my real objective. This is why I'd rather have an objective like I will lose 3 kilos in 3 months by exercising 30 minutes per day and weighing myself every day. This is a much better objective. And we can say the same about money. Let's say that you want to save more money to buy a house. This clearly is not a SMART goal, as it doesn't respect the 5 dimensions. A good SMART objective would be I will save $10,000 for a house down payment by depositing $500 into my savings account each month for the next 20 months. As you see, this objective is much clearer and specific because it clearly states what you want to achieve. Then it is measurable because you set the target at $10,000, and it also is achievable because it's split in smaller monthly contributions. It is definitely relevant since it is your own goal of buying a house, and it is also time-bound, as you have to do so over 20 months. Comparing these two objectives, it is clear that one can mean everything, whereas the other one is very clear and detailed and suited to yourself and your goal. This is why it will get much easier to achieve it, as you will have a clear direction. So now that you know how to define a SMART objective, just define your main financial goals. You don't have to start big. Start with 2 or 3 goals that matters to you for this year and work on those. Because the most important thing is to define your objective so that you will have a clear direction in your mind, and this will increase your chances of having more money by the end of the year. But I know, some objectives might feel impossible to achieve. Maybe you have to save 100k for the down payment of a house and you don't know how to. You feel it's too much money. But this is why you have to follow this third step, because it will make everything manageable. Just think back to our seller. He might be thinking of reaching the other end of the world, and this clearly is a huge goal that probably feels impossible to our seller too. But what if instead of thinking about reaching the other end of the world, he firstly thinks about reaching the island, which is just 4 hours away from the port? Would it feel easier and more achievable? I think so. And once in this island, he could think about the following island at just 8 hours of distance, and so on. The fact is that by separating your big goal into smaller and achievable goals, it will feel much easier to actually achieve your final objective. Every little step will be an achievement that will motivate you, and it will confirm you that you're advancing in the right direction. And all of this will keep you going and get you closer to your objective. On the other side, only thinking about the big goal, you might get paralyzed by it and you wouldn't advance at all. So, for example, instead of saving $500 per month, which might seem difficult, you could think about saving $50 per week on restaurants, saving $30 per week on groceries, and so on. In the end, it's like building a house. You have to think brick by brick, because even if they seem small, put together they maintain the whole house. And this will make something that might feel big, like saving for a down payment, much smaller and easier to achieve. So take a moment and think about how you can make your big goal smaller. Like this, you will make your objectives doable, and this just means that you will be able to achieve them. And if you think you might need some clue on how to actually reach your objectives, like saving 20k or increasing your income, the best thing you could do would be to subscribe to this channel, because this is what I talk about in every video I make. So the seller is now ready to set sail. He has all of his trip planned, and he now knows he'll be successful. And so he leaves the port with his boat. But now I have a question for you. Do you think that that's enough for him to reach his destination? The answer is no. Because imagine he drifts just a tiny bit from his route. This small deviation, little by little, will turn into hundreds of kilometers, and because of it, he will never reach the island he's sailing to. And this is why sailors always have map and compass to understand where they are and adapt their direction to reach their destination. And the same is with life. You might deviate a little from the plan, but if you don't adjust the direction, you will end up far away from your objective. Maybe instead of having saved 50k for your house, you've saved only 10. And since you discovered it at the last moment, it will ruin all your future plans. This is why you absolutely have to review your objectives and results every month. Because like this, you will be able to correct the direction if something didn't work out as planned. And in this case, our compass is very simple, because if the goal has been made smart, it is measurable, and so you can easily track it. In our example, it would mean to track the monthly saving for the down payment and the overall amount already saved. Like this, you will know in a glance if you're advancing in the correct direction. So by spending a couple of minutes per month reviewing your objectives, you will give yourself the chance to really achieve your goals. Because if you take the wrong wind and you don't notice you're drifting away, it will be too late to get back on track. But if you notice it in time, you will be able to adjust the direction and reach your final destination. With clear goals, it will get much easier to have more money by the end of the year. But there is something else that could actually make reaching your goals even simpler. Because if you don't have the right money habits, even saving a penny gets difficult. So if you really want to be sure to have more money, watch this video. Thanks for watching and see you soon.